What's up, Cowboy Nation? Let's talk about the trap. And the trap is always real. We got to be aware of that. The trap is when you focus on one side and never pay attention to the other. Let me repeat, when you focus on one side and you never pay attention to the other. Cowboys are pretty much not in the trap, but they can fall into the trap. And here's the situation. What if I told you guys that defensive edge rushing could be still an issue for the Cowboys, although we still need to focus in on the interior? Although when we think about the Dallas Cowboys in general, when you think about front four, you think of what? D-Law and Randy Gregory, right? There's no one else that you can really think of in the last few years of the Cowboys that can create pressure, that make sacks and these sorts of things. So the trap would be is to not focus in on what we need help at is in general edge rushers, right? Because D-Law, everybody know that that's my dog. I can tell you guys that, hey, if he had better help from the interior, maybe, just maybe. Now, granted, the Cowboys, when you look in this particular draft now, when you look into this particular draft, they did do a call and they did the interview. They talked to J.C. Horn. They also talked to Patrick Surtain. And, of course, we already know about the offensive line situation, right? That's not even something that's up for debate. We gotta have a way that we can fix this offensive line, regardless of the situation. All right, so I was reading one of the articles, and they was talking about, and I believe it was Inside the Star, and it was talking about the fact that, did they leave out edge rushers as it relates to evaluation? Now, let me paint a different world. Let's say with the 10th pick, the player that you really like and you got high on your board is not really there, and the Cowboys do decide to moonwalk back a little bit. Not many of slots, right? But let's say they do moonwalk back a little bit and grab a Kwity Paye. Would you guys be happy with that? Now, I do know that the fact that when you talk about defensive edge guys, especially from Michigan, you sit there and you think, Taco Charlton. Oh, no. And we definitely do not want to relive that. And I'm not saying that Kwity Paye is on any levels of Tacos. There are different type of players, different type of skill set, different type of ability. But when we add all of that together, do you really trust this front office to draft an edge rusher in the first round? Remember, it's been since 2005 since the Cowboys had a dominant and the elite defensive player, especially drafted on the defensive side on their front. Right? Now, that guy's name was DeMarcus Ware. Anthony Spencer, look, so many promises never lived up to the expectations, right? So my thing is, Cowboy Nation, if Kwity Paye is one of the best players available on this particular board, you can't overlook it. You can't. And you got to look at it from those parameters. Now, should the Cowboys look at this team and say, okay, yeah, defense win championships, let's figure this thing out. Maybe you can go get Kwity Paye, and then you can look into the second and third rounds and things like that to get the interior guy to help out that front, right? What are we going to do with D-Law? What are we going to do with Randy? Get down Gregory. We got Basham, too. Oh, man, we got Bradley or not. We got enough edge guys already. Right? We can talk ourselves into that, but will it be a trap? Right? Will it be a situation whereas now we looking at it like, man, we'd have painted ourselves out of this situation of being able to gravitate towards an edge guy if he's the best player on the board at the time. Now, with all of that talk out the window, when you look back on the offensive side of the coin, man, I was reading again, and one of the articles brought up the fact of Blake Jarwin. Oh, how much do we really know about Blake Jarwin? Outside if you remove the Giant games, like the games that he played against the New York Giants, who do we really got out of a Blake Jarwin? He's coming off of an injury, right? He's explosive. I like the ability at the top of his route. He can squeeze and still get upfield. Hey, when you line him in line, he's not the world's greatest blocker. Not going to put that on him. but he can figure out ways to get skinny, explode off the LOS, and he can find those short areas. And after he catches the ball, he can give you some yak action, right? But those are stories of a good time when you talk about Blake Jarwin. And we can go back and forth and say, man, he always had a hindrance, right? Hindrance meaning that he had a guy that was on his team that took majority of his snaps. And when he finally got a chance to get an opportunity to shine, we say, hey, what about that 89 kid? You know, Blake, can he get more time? Can he get more and more opportunities? Can he get more reps? But are we hedging our bet? Or are we kind of like leaning on the fact of painting ourselves in the corner and saying, okay, he is our end all be all. We can take the risk, right? We don't have to really look into anything else. I'm just saying, we got to be objective with it, right? Objectively speaking. And good old Schultz, we do like what he was able to bring to the table. But when we think about it, he is limited in a sense. Not like the kid put up 12 touchdowns last year. Not like he put up 8 touchdowns. Not like he put up 6 touchdowns, right? And Schultz, shout out to him. Blocking tight end, he can block. And he got a little separation of speed more than what we talking about with, got to put his name out there, Jason Witten. So at least he's a little bit better in those parameters, right? But he ain't better than the young Jason Witten. I'm just gonna put that out there right there. You know, to put that on the shelf right there, Cowboy Nation. So we don't want to fall into the trap. Best player available, BPA all day. But we also got to look at it where, just hear me out, Cowboy Nation. Even though we have resources already on this team, we still got to evaluate it, and we still got to bring in competition for it. Nobody should be looking around and walking around saying, oh, I'm safe. Oh, I'm okay. Everybody should have a notice saying that, hey, my job as the coach is to elevate you, but the owner and the GM job is to replace you. I want us to get to the Super Bowl. In order for us to get there, we got to work, grind hard, and we got to make sure that the competition is there. Nobody is given or granted an opportunity here. No. You got to fight for it. That should be the mentality. And that should be the approach, believe it or not, like Ripley's. When you get into this draft, when I'm looking at these players. Now, J.C. Horn, Patrick Surtain, the conference call. This is going to be one of those things. Whereas I believe that if they're doing it like that, now I'm not saying that this is smoke and mirrors, because I'm not hearing other conference calls of linebackers or other positionings like wide receivers and things like that. So Cowboys could be looking at those 2 cornerbacks. And if one of those guys are on the board, they could be leaning more so on the DB side. But let's not forget about the things, the unknown, the smoke and mirrors, where they might lead us astray. And they might go with the edge guy. They might go with an offensive tackle. It's crazy. Remember, the draft is such a crazy booger bear. I'll post the links in the description box of the articles I read. And I want to know your guys' thoughts. And I want to know how you guys feel of this particular team heading into the 2021 draft. I'm team BPA. And, of course, I lean more toward the defensive side of the coin. But when you think about the 10th overall draft pick, I think that if the Cowboys play their hands right, regardless of who they get, they will make an impact to this team. BPA, best player available, Jerry, Wayne, Jones, John, Stephen Jones, Charlotte Jones. All of you guys is going to be in that room. John, Stephen Jones Jr., all of them. Jerry Jr., all of you guys that's in that room, Will McClay, Chris Hall, and all of those boys, take your time. But don't reach. Just stay focused. And when that player get to you, just make sure that when you turn that card in, you'll say to yourself, I did my research And I'm okay with this particular guy to change the environment of the team. And don't, please don't anoint the player. Don't anoint them, right? Let them earn every piece of that field. Cowboy Nation, post me your thoughts, post me your concerns. My name is Law Nation. Be sure to hit this channel up from time to time. Hit that notification bell. Y'all know how this thing go. It go on various times throughout the day. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Go Cowboys. Let's go. Let's go get that dynamic player, baby. They out there. You just got to be patient and wait for it. Don't be anxious and jump up for it. Just be patient. It will come to you. It will. It'll flat out come to you. It will. It will. It will.